Hello, everybody. My name is Barry Johnson. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Studio Talk. You know, you look around, I've accumulated quite a bit of gear around here, at the end of the day, and I'm asking myself, when am I going to recoup all the money I've invested into all this stuff? Let's get to it. All right. So, many of us really have a passion for this. Lord knows I do, okay? I've had this bug bit me. It bit me hard decades ago as a young teenager, and I've been pursuing this passion ever since, right? So over those years and in the future years to come, I've invested a whole lot of money in all this gear around me, right? I didn't buy all this overnight. It didn't come overnight. It came over time, right? And so I've accumulated quite a bit. Now, I've got pieces of gear in my studio. I'll be honest with you, I don't really use that much. I've got some pieces that were given to me that are kind of on the lower end scale of recording gear and outboard analog gear. So I don't really use them, but they fill my racks up, and it's not worth it for me to sell them. There's not enough money to recoup back from it. But there's other things in here that if we're lost, I'd buy and replace them 1,000 times over, all right? And so as I'm accumulating all these things, I think it's important, depending on where you are in your journey, okay, maybe at the beginning stages, maybe you've not invested in any outboard gear or any hardware, anything like that, right? Or maybe you have and you've begun to and you have certain feelings about that. Or maybe you're like me and man, you've gone full boat into this, probably purchasing way more than you actually probably need. Yeah, that's me for sure. So maybe you fall into that camp. I think we've got to gain perspective. For those of you starting your journey, this next part is going to be super important for you to get a hold of and grasp and accept, or don't go down that road. For those of us that are already in it, this may tell you to slow it down, okay? Or you may speed it up, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But understand, as we invest all of this money, because this stuff that we do is not cheap, all right? And I already put out a video on the magic pill that if you haven't watched, you should go watch it. But I don't have a single piece of gear in here that is a magic pill that automatically, when I got it, I was like, holy crap, this has transformed my work. No, it's been, hey, that sounds really sweet. It's really enhancing certain aspects of my recording. I like that flavor, that layer added to the process. So because all of this is so expensive, it's important that you accept this. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up for nothing but disappointment down the road, okay? The reality is you're likely to never, ever recoup the money you've invested in this stuff. The best you're likely to ever do if, and this is only if, you buy smart, and that means buy used, find the piece of gear you want that is a good deal, or if it's new, it's significantly discounted, okay? But buy quality gear. If you buy quality gear, then when you go to sell it, you're likely to be able to sell it for close to what you bought it for if you bought it used and you were smart in your buying, right? And so then you can do that. You're probably going to be out your fees that you're going to pay to PayPal and Reverb and all these other things. And so you're going to be out some money likely, but you're not going to be out a ton. So kind of keep that in mind. But to get your money back, let's face it. How many millions of people around the globe are like us? Have our little recording studios in our home. Maybe yours is a simple setup with just a simple interface, one microphone, and a laptop. Or maybe you're like me, or maybe you've got way more than me. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. As long as we all have realistic expectations of what we expect to get out of this. And because the reality is that there's millions and millions of us all around the globe, the odds are there are not millions and millions of us that are making an income from it, whether it's simply simple as somebody's paying you for your services to record and or mix them or master their work, or whether or not you've actually created music that sells out there on iTunes and other places where you can make some money doing it. The reality is, I hope that that is the case for all of you, but the reality is, and statistically, that's not the case. Most of us will never, ever make a red penny worth talking about in doing our passion. So what do you got to come to terms on it? What? It's a passion. No different than going out and buying a speedboat, No different going out and buying a fishing boat, going and buying a Harley, or all the other things that men like to get into, jet skis, four-wheelers, ATVs, all the things out there that we like to get into. Those are also very expensive, and those are also passions that people have that they're not going to recoup their money either. So as long as you come into this understanding that, and as long as you accept that along the way, let that affect what you buy, when you buy it, the quality of which you buy it, okay? And most importantly, the price you buy it at. Always think about if you're in a situation and you're reselling it, or you're selling it back again to get your money back, that you're putting yourself in the best situation possible. Otherwise, just accept the fact there are certain things we're going to buy that we're never, ever, ever going to sell them and get our money back. So as long as you go into that with the right mindset, you're going to be okay. But if you're expecting at some point and you're telling yourself, if I invest all of this money in this gear, I'm going to sell 1 million records, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, the odds are pretty slim that that's not likely to happen. Now, if you're in a for-hire recording studio or something like that, this dynamic's somewhat different. Obviously, there is an ROI associated with those things, but let's face it, that's not the majority of the people out there that are getting into this. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, this can turn into an addiction for you. And if you go down this road, it most likely will turn into an addiction for you that can get out of control like any addiction, okay? I've been guilty of this many times. I have repeated that offense quite a few times over my 40-plus year journey, all right? And so some of them I don't regret, and some of them I'd give anything in the world if I hadn't have done it. But just like anything else in life, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is. You take your lumps and your bumps along with your successes, okay? And so I'm going to suck it up, tighten up, man up, all right? I suggest you all do the same. If you like the things I talk about on this channel, do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. Lets you know when I got a new video out. I'd like you guys to keep coming on back. I've got a next month, okay, in July 2022, depending on when you watch this video, okay, that is when I reach a year for my YouTube channel, all right? So my channel will be a year old next month, and I'm excited about it. And I've been fortunate that you guys have appreciated what I'm doing and are helping me make a difference out there, because that is my goal. So until next time, I hope every one of you have a great day. Bye-bye. My microphone's moving on me, shifting on me. Guess I didn't tighten it down well. It just keeps turning and turning and turning. What you gonna do?